The post.
What'd you just do?
Did this. I don't know. It's something about some mental disease that ends with ism. I'm not really sure.
That might be a little bit deeper.
Yeah, maybe. You almost knocked your beer over. What's going on? It's 8 o'clock. It's live. It's Friday. You already know what time it is. We actually do not have a scheduled agenda for tonight. It is literally just pissing in the wind, talking with you guys, seeing what's going on out there in the fishing world. And we're just gonna, like, this is like back to the basics. This is kind of like how we started. Just, we don't know what we're gonna talk about tonight. We're just gonna go live and talk about fishing. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. Definitely want to hear your comments.
Hashtag pissing in the wind.
Yeah, like, what do you guys have out there for us? You know, if you guys have any questions or good talking points, definitely let us know, because we do not have any guests tonight. It's just me and Chad. We're just going to talk fishing, talk about what's going on locally to us in terms of where the fish are, what they're doing.
Paul bitched out because he has to wake up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, sleep. Never heard of it. But it's going to be it's going to be fun. We're just going to sit here and, you know, have a relaxed Friday night. I think it's going to be a little bit of an earlier night because I have a tournament tomorrow. Pretty much everyone's got tournaments tomorrow.
Except me.
Except Chad.
Chad.
But I'll tell you what, these what happened? Did we drop?
No.
Oh, okay. The tournaments are in full swing right now, guys. I mean, everything is pretty much happening. I will say, to start off the conversation of what's going on right now with the fish, I think that this is, in my opinion, this is one of the most consistent springs we've had so far.
Really?
It's not like super consistent, but I think it's better than it has been. Maybe it's just because I've been out more this time of year than I ever have been, but the fish seem to be doing exactly what you think they'd be doing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of.
So, like, it just seems more so this year than it has been in the past. You know, for example, I was on my dock the other day, and I literally was standing on the dock, saw a fish on a bed, and caught it. They're absolutely bedding fish.
They're definitely doing exactly what we think they should be doing right now, which is moving up to the beds and spawning.
Yes.
Locating these fish can be tough when you are fishing in a place that has less than 12 inches of visibility.
Yeah, so that's the other thing too. But the part of that is like the less visibility you have on your fishery, in my opinion, the shallower the fish are prone to get. You know, if you have a super, super clear lake, like, you know, a reservoir or a Smith Mountain or a Lake Anna or whatever, those fish can spawn out to 10 feet of water. A lot of times your really, really big fish, like your 7+ pounders, will actually spawn in that 6 to 10 foot range. Not all the time, but it seems to happen a little bit more that way.
Your tidal pattern has a lot to do with where they're going to spawn, because
Yes.
they're not going to spawn in a spot where the water can move past
Yes.
their bed.
Right. So the water was out last weekend. I was out. Saturday,
Hey, what's up,
Monday.
Brian? Hey, everybody, do me a favor. Hit that like and the share button. It helps Facebook algorithm boost our post and get out there to more people. And we end up having some better conversations with the more comments we get. So do us all a favor. Hit that like and share button for us.
Yeah. No, I absolutely think fish are full spawn right now.
Well, we have a full moon cycle coming up.
The full moon actually happened this week. So I think it was Wednesday. So the full moon was Wednesday. You know, it's been, the water's at least in this area, the water's in that low to mid 60s. I mean, anywhere you go, regardless of water clarity, that's a huge hint for you guys that know the local area. It's 60-degree water. I mean, like 60, I've seen fish start moving up and getting shallow, maybe not on beds, but start moving around and cruising in that 55 and above range. Like 55 and above, you can go shallow and start catching fish consistently, but like once 60 happens,
I think 60's really the key thing. What's up, Steven? Thanks for joining, man. Glad to see you.
Yeah, 60's when it's starting to happen. And then, like, I think, like, everyone's like, oh, 65 degrees, they have to spawn.
You want to know what I'm trying to say? Like, so here's another thing with the 60 degrees. Is 60 degrees isn't 60 degrees. You can be out there 60 degrees one morning, and then you can have a cold morning the next morning, and you're back down to 55, 54 degrees.
Sure.
When you have consistent 60-degree temperatures when you have some warmer evenings, when you get into those 60-degree nights, where you're not dropping your water temperature significantly in the evenings, and your light phase with your moon phase meets, dude, everything really snaps into place. And we're very, very close to that right now. I think that water temperature has to come up and stay a little bit more consistent. We had a frost last night.
Yeah, no, I definitely...
So, you know what I mean? Like, you have a cold front come in, you have a water temperature, you have a temperature outside that hits like that. That is going to shock the fish.
Yeah. I think, you know, and the thing about... I mean, in general, but even more so in these tidal bodies of water around here, like, you don't ever have a 2-week period where all the fish spawn. It just doesn't work like that. So, you know, you have waves of spawners. I think we're in the first wave of spawners right now. I think you can, you know, there's fish right now that are on beds. I think the majority of your fish that are on beds right now are males, right? So if you're bed fishing, you know, don't go looking to catch 25 pounds of fish on beds. It's probably not going to happen right now. In a week, it might. Now, it has been warm this week. So you might have some females moving up this weekend.
Some 3s and some 4s maybe move up.
Yeah.
But they haven't consistently, for me, myself, I've seen a lot of 1.5 pound, 2 pound fish come out. And I'll even say it, I've been throwing a soft plastic around, I've been throwing a jig around, and that's kind of what I've been catching fish on here right now. I do have a couple on a chatterbait.
Yeah.
Always got to have a chatterbait close by.
I'll tell you one of the biggest indications, because like you said, it's hard the visibility here is just not like it is on these other places. So it's very hard to bed fish here, truly bed fish, and commit to it all day. So one of the biggest things it's hard to bed fish in a spot that you can't see the beds. And that's where this live scope is really going to come into play, in my opinion. And we're going to get to now that it is a lot more prevalent. There's a lot of people that have it. I would say the percentage of people that have it is almost 50-50 at this point. I think it's more. I think a lot of... So it depends. It depends, right? So, like, you're talking guys that are fish... I mean, like, let me think about this.
Hey, Bunky. What's up, Sam? Thanks for joining us, boys.
In my club, there are... Right now, we're a little bit low this year because Rob deployed. Thank you for your service, Rob. So Murphy's out right now, but there are at least out of the, I think 9 boats that we have this year. No, 10. I want to say there's at least 6 or 7 of us that have live scope. It's almost easier to count who doesn't have it versus who does have it.
Right.
And talking about live scope during the spawn, it is absolutely a key player. I don't care what anyone says because I've already used it this year to identify. That's how I know fish are spawning because
hey, Greg, thanks for joining, man. Good to see you.
Like if I got my live scope on perspective mode and I see a bed and I may not see a fish on it because you got to remember live scope like it's a cone. So if I'm the live scope
I gotta say, not to cut you off, but Greg's comment is great too. The 360 is another big player when it comes to finding beds, if not even a bigger player than live scope, to be honest.
It could be. So like when you talk about live scope, like let's say I'm in forward mode. My cone is like this wide, right? The ends of my fingers are the limit of the beam, right? So I got that. But I also have, depending on what brand you went with, you got about 20 degrees for live scope, right? So when you turn it over, you went to this, and now you're here in perspective mode, right? So you basically just sandwich. You turned your hot dog into a sandwich, if that makes sense. And now you're seeing out this far. But what you don't always see, so like, you know, just because you may like if you got this, that may not catch the bottom or the top of the water column. So depending on where that fish is sitting on the bed, you might not see them. So if you are fishing with live scope and in perspective mode and you see beds, absolutely pitch to every single one. Please pitch to every single one of them. But anyway, the biggest indicator that I get this time of year with bed fishing and knowing that fish are like starting to really lock onto beds, is if you make a cast and you get a bite and you make another cast and you cast to the same spot you got a bite, you will almost always catch that fish this time of year.
Honestly, my indicator from when it's on is when I go to a certain spot and I start catching them, I know it's time. If they're there, they're there. It's time. They're only there for one reason.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I indicate it. What's up, Matt? We got Matt Downs from Trick Tins hanging out. What's up, man? How you doing? Good grief, sorry, but live scope. You know, I
get it, dude. I get it. Like
I do and I don't. Like I've griped on here many times about LiveScope, and my gripe is not about LiveScope itself. It's about no limitations in the professional leagues with LiveScope. I'm personally going to get LiveScope.
So
I think it's a great tool, but like having 16 different transducers and screens on your boat is a little crazy.
So my gripe with LiveScope is not in the tech. It's not really in the technology. What it is I don't like how it's being portrayed in professional fishing as this new monster thing that everyone has to have at any level to compete to catch bass. And I don't like the message that sends to both because I mean, I fished in college for years, the collegiate anglers, young guys trying to make it in the BFLs, or, you know, younger people, or just guys that don't have a ton of money to spend on fishing.
I do
going
have to
out there
say
trying
that
to fish
you
an
can
SQT.
get
Like,
well, here's this: a LiveScope system might cost you $1,500, $2,000 at this point, but you have to have a compatible sonar screen with it too.
well, that's the thing.
You're looking at $4,000 or $5,000 before you
Right.
can even have LiveScope on your boat. If
Yeah.
if you have bare bones,
So I think,
which is what I'm looking at right now.
I think a lot of the issues with LiveScope has been the tournaments were scheduled, and Denny Brower said this last week when he was on the show with us, is the scheduling of professional tournaments absolutely affect the coverage of LiveScope. It is not even up for question. You know, going to the St. Lawrence River in August is going to be a LiveScope tournament. No shit, right? Going to Lake Seminole in the end of February, early March when they're mid-spawn, probably not a LiveScope tournament. So we're not going a lot of these places.
Snap.
You know, we're not always going to these places at the right time. Now, we've got to remember, fishing is a business. Professional fishing is
Definitely
huge.
early spawn, Greg, for sure. Maybe a first wave.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you right now, I have a video of me catching a fish off of a bed on my dock in Saltpeter Creek. Like, it's happening. I'm not saying that it's like full-fledged, but there's fish on beds for sure.
Matt, I don't know if you can give us a little sneak peek later on or anything, but let us know, man. We'll get a link out to you, because I would love to see it.
Yeah. So Dustin has a good point about LiveScope, and this is like, dude, LiveScope, it will get you too. Like, just because you see them doesn't mean you can't make them eat it. Like, you can put the bait right in front of them and they still won't eat it. It's the most frustrating thing ever. So, you know, you still have to know how to fish, but to sit here and pretend that LiveScope hasn't completely revolutionized the way that some people fish is in my opinion, a bad.
Right.
You can't say that, in my opinion. And we've had numerous pros and numerous guests on the show at various levels that will agree with that.
We've had different opinions too.
Yeah, no, we definitely, like, we have a lot of people that come on and they're like, LiveScope's great. Fishing the DMV was a good example. He was very pro LiveScope, and he's like, look, you know, this is the next thing. You either, if you're fishing professionally, like, get with the program, or, you know, do something else. And he has a point. And then we have other folks that are like, yeah, this sucks. Like, 30 years of fishing is beaten now by a 19-year-old with four faces.
I feel like we're just beating the dead horse at this point. It ain't
Yeah,
going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. So, I mean, it just kind of freaking is what it is. It's definitely still too cold. Like we said, we just had a bad frost last night.
Yeah.
So, you know, them cold evenings. Monday, like Greg is saying, it's going to be 86 degrees. As these warm waves start to happen, you're going to see things progressively start to happen. But I got to say, like, my personal opinion from where I've been fishing in a 5-year stretch, about this time of year, at one point I was definitely catching more and bigger fish around this time of year than I have this year. Maybe that's me.
It's
and
not just
maybe
you.
that's the ecosystem. But I'm here to say right now that the snakeheads have obviously been taken down a lot by the bow fishermen, but I used to catch a bunch of 4s and 5s around this time of the year on swim baits, and that bite has just been non-existent almost.
I think Fishing the DMV had a really good discussion point that relates to this a lot. So if you guys watched our show, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. We had Fishing the DMV on. It's a great podcast. You guys ought to check them out.
Dude is so smart.
Yeah, very, very smart. So he basically was talking about how fishing tournaments and releasing and stocking fish and all that stuff is a huge thing. And it changes how fish, how they move and where they live. And his example was, a lot of people back in the day and still today, they believe that Nanjemoy Creek on the Potomac is about the furthest south you can go to catch fish on the Potomac and like compete, right? So Nanjemoy is really, really far down.
We don't need to talk about that, Greg.
And it's a very Greg, don't do it. It's pretty far south. It's really, really out of the way. But for years they ran Tuesday, Thursday nighters, whatever. They ran a weekday tournament out of Nanjemoy Creek, and they restocked the place. I mean, you guys fish Potomac know what I'm talking about. The Potomac's huge. You can run for an hour or two past 5, 6, 7, 8 different creeks, and then fish and bring all those fish back. So all those fish were in Nanjemoy Creek, and somebody won a big tournament on Nanjemoy Creek, and then for the next couple of years, everybody was going to Nanjemoy, pulling the fish out, and now the fishing in Nanjemoy sucks. I think it's the same thing. In 2020, the pond, oh my God, I said it, the pond was
the forbidden zone.
Unbelievable. It was unreal. It was so good. It was stupid.
And I know the comments we're about to get. You should have fished it back in 2012, sure. 2011, or 2010, whatever it was.
It was unreal.
Totally understand that it was so much better back then, but at one point, in my opinion, it was better then than now, even after the fish kill.
So
Jim Fallon, what's up?
Greg's comment is exactly what I'm talking about. Greg's comment's exactly what I'm talking about. Nanjemoy hasn't played
2009.
Well since.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even going back far enough, but.
So Greg says Nanjemoy has sucked since Skeet Reese won, and what I'm telling you is Skeet Reese put that place on the map. So then
insane. That is crazy. That's actually, dude, a 35-pound limit is the only you don't even hear that out of some of the reservoirs.
No, it's unbelievable.
But that is nuts. Do me a favor, everybody, hit that like and the share button. It gets our stuff out to more people and helps our page grow. If you like what we do, it definitely supports us. We appreciate it. Like and share.
So what ended up happening is Skeet Reese goes and catches an over 30-pound bag in Nanjemoy. So guess what happens the next BFL? Everybody runs in Nanjemoy. Next SQT, back in the day, SQTs had almost 100 boats. Everybody's running in Nanjemoy.
Pressure is a bitch.
Well, it moves fish. That's my point, is it moves the fish. And
What's up, Adam?
At this point, I was in the pond on Monday. On a Monday, I worked 410s. Don't crucify me. I have a job, I promise. There was 7 boats in the pond on a Monday. On a Monday, dude.
That's crazy.
It's not.
It's crazy. It is the amount of traffic that is in the amount of traffic on the water. Period. Whether it be the Gunpowder, the flats out in Havity Grace, Conowingo. Since COVID happened in 2020, water sports, kayaking, boating, bass fishing, snakehead. The snakehead was another big thing that really took off. I agree. I'm not really a huge, like the pond, you can always go back there and catch them, but I don't even care for it anymore. Yeah. It just exploded. Ever since COVID happened, the amount of traffic on the water has tripled, in my opinion. And you want to know what? It might not be all boats. I see so many kayaks in areas that I've never seen kayaks before now. It is crazy.
Greg, where's your tournament Sunday? Just curious. But yeah, no, I agree. And
you have never fished good in a tournament back in that place, though, and you know it.
Dude, I haven't either. I've been there in a tournament once in my life because
it never won me any money back there, but it did put me in 6th place out of 40 boats for the solstice.
Dude, I don't like going back there. I was in 7th, by the way, so fuck you. But I don't like going. I don't like going back there because on a Saturday there's going to be 1,000 boats in there, and that's what sucks. But I will say, the pressure in one spot gives opportunity to another. And what I mean by that is, right, look at the Northeast River. The Northeast River is always amazing. You can go in the Northeast River 12 months a year and catch fish. So, what does that tell you? That tells me that, okay, you know, especially this time of year and all through the summer, there's 100 boat tournaments, whether it be the Flats Trail, the Chester Counties, whatever the Ike tournament, they go out of there and they bring all these fish back and they put them in Northeast. How long do those fish stay? I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on fish movement.
There is, and I would love to actually talk to somebody. I would love to actually talk to somebody about fish movement. I know we have briefly discussed it in the past, and I know there is certain times or occasions where a bass has traveled a very far distance.
Yes.
But do you really think that taking a bass from the Gunpowder all the way up to
It's not happening.
Anchor Marina, they're making it back to the... It's not. I don't think it's happening in my opinion. But you want to know one of the most amazing stories that's happened right now, and you could probably go follow this. I'm not sure on what website or page, but Fish Everything actually shared this. Victor Depp actually shared this on his page. And there's a 8 to a 9 pound bass that's been being caught down in Virginia. It's one of the lakes, it's a lake record that was caught by SB Fishing at one point. Matt something, I believe his name is. And so they've actually caught this fish. There's a 8 to a 9 pound
Bubs.
I can't believe you just did that, Bubs.
Damn, dude. I didn't think a dog that small could do that.
So they've actually caught this fish 4 different times now and brought it back to a weigh-in. So this fish has been weighed in notably at an 8 to a 9 pound weight.
Sure.
4 different times, caught 3 out of the 4 different times on the same exact spot after being brought back to a weigh-in. 4 different times now.
Well, how far is the spot?
I'm not sure. It's in a lake somewhere.
Okay.
That's very broad because lakes can be very big too. But how insane is that? That's crazy in my opinion.
I'm gonna give myself a tattoo while we're on the show. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. I just like here's my
we
thing.
have an echo.
Echo.
That's very broad.
Miles, are you making that run tomorrow?
But how
Don't do it.
is that?
Don't do it, Miles.
That's crazy.
Don't do it, Miles, because I'm gonna get there first. I'm telling you. He's probably gonna do it.
Hang on a second. We're gonna close out the audio real quick and then bring it back.
We do. Miles, are you making that run tomorrow? Don't do it. Don't do it. Bubber doos, bubber don'ts. I don't think they hear us still, do they? They still hear us.
Open.
We can hear you still talking from a minute ago. What? What about YouTube? Is it on YouTube? Do we have to?
No.
That's so weird. Technology never fails, I'm telling you. We just, like, the echo, like, just started. That's the crazy thing. Can you guys hear us? Give us a thumbs up.
Can you guys hear
Let
us?
us know if you can hear us.
How does it? Does it still sound an echo? So wild. Do we still have an echo?
Said yes. Better? You're good.
Okay, you're good. I don't see. It's the Rode software. I have no idea what's going on with
Well, here we go.
All right, cool.
I don't know. Thanks for bearing with us, folks. We appreciate it because this is always like I don't know.
It's like I'm honestly thinking about going to a different software now because this has become a consistent problem week after week now.
Yeah, it is.
I have to look into it.
So, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about fish movement and pressure and all that good stuff. All right, so like here's the other thing. Like, I feel like this is why, and so you guys know I'm extremely passionate about F1 stocking in Maryland. I think it needs to happen personally. We didn't hit record. Might as well. I think it needs to happen. But I will say, Fishing DMV brought up a really, really good point when we interviewed him on the show. And he said, look, here's the deal. it's not going to work without two things. One, and there's the elephant in the room, the state has to buy in on it. Yeah, we got it. We know that. The state has to spend the money, and it has to be a multiple year program. You don't just stock F1s 1 year and it's over and everything's happy. You have to continue to do it. Do we have audio problems again?
What's going on with this?
Are we good now?
No, we're okay.
Okay. Sorry. So we have this. You got to keep stocking the F1s. But he also said, to get back to the original comment about the Nanjamoy and all that other stuff, if you stock F1s in Middle River, right, and everyone knows that F1s are getting stocked in Middle River, everyone's going to run to Middle River to fish a tournament. So they're going to move the fish,
100%.
and the stocking effort's going to go away because it's going to dilute the fish. So,
which is totally 110% to what Fishing the DMV's point
exactly.
was. I think his name was Thomas.
Yes. Yeah, and again, I cannot speak highly enough about his podcast. Like, Fishing the DMV was an awesome guest. I learned a ton from talking to him. Like, you guys just should go back and watch that interview.
He could probably come back on the show and teach us a lot more.
Yes, like wicked smart.
Check out his. I'll post it up here in the link. It is Fishing the DMV.
Yeah, wicked smart, awesome guy.
Check out Fishing the DMV. Definitely go there and follow his page. And if you're watching any of this stuff, give Bass and Beer Radio a shout out while you're there.
Yep. So in my opinion, if the state is going to do the F1 stocking, it has to happen on the lower shore. It has to. It has to be in a place where 90% of the tournament anglers aren't going to run and disrupt the stocking of F1s. The reason I say that is if you do it on Middle River, if you do it on the Sassafras, if you do it on the Chester, people are going to start taking those fish, and there's not going to be any data to support the effort that the state made to stock. So you have to you have to put it in a controlled environment. That's kind of the point I'm making here with this. But I would really I think that a lot of these places, like maybe the Nanacoke is a good candidate. Nanacoke's a really good candidate. The Pocomoke's an excellent candidate. The Wacomico is a really good candidate for a very small, centralized. I wouldn't go any further north than the Chop Tank because someone could technically make that run. But I would support. I think those are good places.
Miles, stick them in Lock, stick them in Liberty, stick them in that would cut down so
there
much.
He is.
There he is, Tom. Thanks for joining, man. Dude, stick them in Lock, stick them in Liberty, stick them in some of the reservoirs. Would there be pressure? Absolutely, but definitely the amount of people here who are going out there fishing in the reservoir rigs is more limited than you have bass boats for sure. So, that would be very interesting.
So just because Tom's just joining in, so we were talking about when we had you on a couple weeks ago, the points that you made about Nanjamoy on the Potomac and the F1 stocking and how you'd have to be very careful with it because people would be going and taking the fish and diluting it and all that good stuff. So John Hansen has a good point. Yeah, well, I'll get to Greg's point first. Greg says Pocomoke is closest to the southern river with cypress trees. I completely agree. If I had to, gun to my head today, pick a river to stock F1s, it's the Pocomoke. The second one would be the Nanacoke. But the problem with the Nanacoke is tournaments from the Wacomico and maybe even the Chop Tank will run to the Nanacoke. So I think the Pocomoke is the best possibility there. Another thing I want to get to after we get to John's comment. John said Wingo would pop off. I don't think Wingo would pop off.
I don't know how maybe well they would do in Conowingo.
I don't think there's enough so it
might be too much current.
I don't know. It's very cold there. Dustin said it. I was going to say it. Wingo needs gobies. I completely agree. Conowingo needs gobies.
Is that not a thing?
It is not a thing. No. Gobies do not exist in Conowingo. So the main forage in Conowingo is threadfin. You have some alewives there, but it's mostly threadfin, which is why when you go to the south part of the lake, and this has stumped me for years, you go to the south part of the lake, like Glen Cove area, just for an example, and you turn your sonar on, and you have just the smallest little returns.
Oh, I like what Tom says. Deep Creek Lake.
Deep Creek would be interesting.
Would be very interesting.
But Deep Creek has a lot of big fish.
It does, but it also does not have the same pressure. However, Deep Creek Lake is also a very cold water lake.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like more down here where we get a certain time. Like Deep Creek, it's cold.
Yeah. Miles, I'm pretty sure they are threadfin, but I could be wrong. I'm almost 100% sure that they're threadfin, but again, I could be wrong. It's another lake that I've never really fished that I've always been intrigued about? It's in Western Maryland, Jennings Randolph Lake. They say it's like crystal clear, like up to like 30 feet. Like it's ridiculous. It's like a really little lake. Aldred, that one. Where is Lake Aldred?
Yeah.
I've seen that lake somewhere before. Where Lake Aldred, where is that? Dude, I've definitely seen it before.
We don't condone that. I'm pretty sure that's illegal, John.
Aldred, that's above Conowingo. That's the lake above Holtwood. You know what? That's actually interesting. Jeffrey David Spicer, if you have any information on that place, let me know. I've always kind of wanted to fish it, but I've never done it because I hear it's like the rocks galore. Like, you better know what you're doing or you're going to hit shit. Like, let us know. Is the fishing good up there? I fish Conowingo. I love Conowingo. It's my favorite place. Is Aldred worth going up to? If so, I'll go up there and idle it. Or I'll go with Miles and he can hit the rocks. And I'll just sit there and be like, hey, you hit one. Like, you can't park there.
You can't park here.
Right. Right. But yeah,
you can't park here.
Aldred's a cool looking place. I would like to go up there. The problem is there's no tournaments up there, and he says small isn't walleye. There you go. Shit, might have to go up here.
Miles is now the rock running boat.
Is it? Did I miss something?
We'll fix his lower unit after he cracks it again.
Did he hit another rock?
No, I don't think so. I'm just saying we'll just use his.
Oh yeah.
It'll be the dummy.
Well, he does have an Evinrude. I mean, he's going to have to get a new motor.
That's what I'm saying. We might as well sacrifice his.
Right. I mean, like, if my Evinrude blows up, I just take my graphs off and put them on the bullet and keep fishing. That's kind of why I bought it, actually.
You're going to have to totally redo. You're going to have to put everything. Like, you're going to have to. You need two in the front of the Ranger, two in the front of the Bullet, one on the console.
Did I have all the
You just got to have two loaded out boats. By the way, I'm just saying, try to get ready because we have to race that boat very soon.
When is that, by the way?
I don't know.
Can you find out? It's kind of
I will find out, and we will be entering into it. And Bass and Beer Radio will be winning the competition.
Dude, I don't know how to drive it yet. I don't know how to. Dude, it's
well,
like
you're gonna. That day is the day you're gonna learn.
Probably.
He's just gonna hold it wide open, and we're gonna see what happens.
Wide open on that boat is like it's not fun. Like, you think it's fun, but it's not. It's
you only have to go so far, and then you can let out.
Dude,
just think about it. For maybe 10 to 15 seconds, you're gonna have to just pucker your asshole and just do it.
The sad thing about that boat is with the 225.
Hey, what's up, Larry? Thanks, man. Thanks for joining.
With the 225, no water pressure gauge, no trim gauge.
Look, go up there, Adam. Adam says John will show you how to drive that thing.
That's a good point. All right, so Adam, here's my question, and I'm going to talk to John. Sorry, been drinking beer too fast. So I have the Bullet. It's at my house. It's covered up. It's waiting. I'm going to do a bunch more stuff. I'm going to have to talk about blah blah blah. But how long does it take to put on the wrap? And the reason why I ask is
that is
I saw that and I got distracted. We're going to get to that. How long is it going to take to put the wrap on, plus the prep, plus this other stuff? The only reason I ask is if I can avoid it. If not, no big deal. If I can avoid it, I would like to not go up and back twice. If I can go up there over a 4 or 5 day weekend and stay there, I would do it.
It's gonna help them work on the boat.
Well, dude, because a one boat 2-way trip's 12 hours driving, which they're the best around. So I'm happy to take it up there. But if I can save that, he says we can get the wrap done in a day to a day and a half. That sounds doable. So all right, I'm gonna have to talk to John this weekend and So I know they're gonna do some fiberglass work for me. So I'm gonna send him pictures of everything that I'm aware of. It'd be like, time frame wise, is this realistic? Because if it is, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm thinking maybe Memorial Day weekend because it's like perfect. I also don't want to infringe on your guys' work schedule. So if you
that bullet's ripping you a new asshole, son. Sorry.
So John's comment is maybe only because I have a 225 on the bullet. If I had a 250, it would be a 90-mile-an-hour boat.
I want to go to Tom's comment.
Yeah,
Screw
Tom's
the boat
comment
stuff.
was
Tom's
great.
comment is way more relevant. If the state would stock F1s, we're going back to the F1 thing, everybody. If the state would stock F1s in one of the 3 Baltimore lakes, everybody listen, one of the 3 Baltimore lakes, that would be Pretty Boy, Loch Raven,
or Liberty. Pretty Boy,
Liberty?
Loch Raven, Liberty.
Is that all like Baltimore? Is that all technically Baltimore County?
So the city owns them. The city technically owns the lakes, but those are the 3. Yeah.
Gotcha. 3 Baltimore County lakes, or 3 Baltimore lakes. The lake would have to be completely open to the public for big boats. Which one would you pick?
Pretty Boy, without a question.
Pretty Boy?
Without a question.
Is it bigger?
It's actually the smallest.
It's actually why the smallest. Pretty Boy? Because it's deeper?
It's deeper, and one word, smallmouth. There's giant smallmouth in Pretty Boy.
Okay, somebody we're just talking about where we're going to put F1s.
I would still pick Pretty Boy. Because Pretty Boy has the most bait to support F1s. Because Pretty Boy is a perch lake. So, like, perch... And that's why Pretty Boy is kind of like a difficult-ish lake to fish, because it's
Bunky, thanks for joining, man. We appreciate you. Hope to catch you next time.
Yeah, I still say Pretty Boy because of the perch. And good luck. Although I will say, like, personally, I pick Pretty Boy. In terms of success rate, it's probably Liberty because it's huge. I mean, Liberty also has big smallmouth too. Obviously, state records from Liberty, but in terms of greater chances of success, Liberty's probably the best. But Pretty Boy's like a beautiful fucking lake, dude. It's like the prettiest lake ever. It's called Pretty Boy so the story.
Pretty Boy Res.
It's actually named after a horse that drowned in the lake named Pretty Boy, or drowned in the river named Pretty Boy, which is kind of sad. But it's a cool lake. It's beautiful. So I haven't fished a reservoir in like 5 years. It's like awesome.
Jeff says Liberty mainly because of the variety of tributaries.
I agree. Liberty has more options and it's bigger. There is a lot of forage in Liberty. I mean, you got big shad and stuff like that. But I think the perch. There's so many perch in Pretty Boy. It's ridiculous. I think that would probably really really allow you for some absolute giants. I mean, there's already giants in Pretty Boy. I mean, I've seen 7-pound smallmouth come out of Pretty Boy. This year, 2 weeks ago, a 6.5-pound smallmouth came out of Pretty Boy. Like the big fish are there. I think the big fish are everywhere, but I think if you go back and look, there's more 4 and 5 pounders caught out of Liberty and Loch Raven, but those 7-8 pound fish come out of Pretty Boy for the most part. They catch big ones everywhere. But I think that the true giants, those 7.5 plus fish, majority come out of Pretty Boy. I'm going to go take a leak real quick.
Take a pee-pee. You know, I am very limited on the knowledge that we have of reservoir fishing, to be completely honest with you. But the reservoir fishing is intriguing to me. Obviously, like, we're out here, we're fishing tidal water all the time. So reservoir water is completely different than tidal. You have a completely different clarity of your water, completely different depths when you're fishing these reservoirs. And it amazes me how the patterns differ between fishing a reservoir and fishing a tidal river. It's I don't know. I was literally just saying how it's crazy to me the amount of difference in fishing a reservoir to fishing a tidal lake. The amount how the patterns change in fishing one of these lakes.
Mm-hmm. And it's all because of forage and depth in the water. I mean, each reservoir fish is different, like completely. I mean, guys like Loch Raven, guys throw big baits on Loch Raven. Big paddle tails, big swim baits, stuff like that. You don't see that. I mean, there might be a handful of guys in very situational, situations, for lack of a better term, we'll throw those on Pretty Boy. But Pretty Boy, like that's finesse fishing from what I've been told for the most part. You know, a lot of guys. I mean, I am no expert on Pretty Boy whatsoever. I don't have any secrets to give up there, but the only success I've ever really had up there, which was years and years and years ago, was throwing Ned rigs and little drop shots and shit like that.
Steven said, "Did you pee in a cup off screen? That was so fast."
No, I just peed on the floor in the corner.
That's what we recommend here.
Yeah. You just get like a bucket or something, and it's a lot easier. Plus, buckets are cleaner than half of the shitters I've ever seen in the Army. So, but yeah, no. I think it's definitely an interesting conversation, but I guess kind of to come back to where we're at, like here locally on our tidal bodies of water. Personally, I don't think you can fish too shallow right now. I really don't.
No.
If there's water, there's fish.
We caught multiple right up against the grass line or
Yes.
the reed line. I mean, they're right in there with the snakeheads, basically.
Yeah, like I truly don't think you can fish too shallow right now. Like this is one of those times where it's kind of nice where you can literally go out there and turn your graphs off and just go and fish and just have a good time. Like, and you know, I don't think a lot of fish.
How can the echo be back? We haven't done anything.
Is it still? Is it better? What about now? Is it better now? Tell me that I'm better now.
You're gonna have to like delete the software and re-upload it or something like that.
No one else has said anything, so maybe it's like a weird thing. It got better and then it came back. It's back. Damn it! How the fuck is that possible? Adam said it's a delay. Should we? What if we refresh the Facebook page? Like just randomly, just see. Would that have anything to do with it? What if we refresh the Facebook page? Like just randomly, just see. Would that have anything to do with it? Is that any better?
It's turned off right now.
Oh, so
how can it just come back?
It's like you're watching the video on another tab.
I'm not.
What about now? Is it better?
Yeah, Facebook's muted.
That's so strange. It's got to be better now. You guys should be able to hear us.
Hang on a second.
What about now? Is it better? There's a delay between the YouTube and Facebook. It's got to be better. What does that mean? I am not a software guy. There's a delay between the YouTube and Facebook. What does that mean? I am not a software guy. I'm sorry, people. I really we have tried to figure this out for a long time. Does Rode software have like a helpline or something? Like you can call.
Hang on a second.
Is it working?
Here we go. Did it? How's this sound? Does it sound any better? Good God.
Come on, Shelly. Shelly, come on.
Here we go. Did it? How's this sound?
Mike Girardi said he's watching on YouTube and TV and also have Facebook comments open to see. Okay. Oh, that's why. Solved. So we literally just had to restart the audio software.
Yeah, we got to do something. We got to do something with the audio software.
Sorry about that, folks.
I might just be we might just have to upgrade to. Remember that system that I wanted to buy the first time and I didn't.
Yeah.
We got to do something. We might just have to do that. But honestly, that's as professional as it gets. So we will be running SLR microphones or SLX or SLR microphones at that point.
Do we not have to? We don't get to keep these?
These are USBs, which are actually not the best for close quarter podcasting. We can actually get microphones that are designed for like close quarter podcasting that eliminates all like background noise, but it's way more expensive.
Okay.
But you know what? Screw it. We do it every Friday night. So, anyways, let's go. It's still echo or lagging. Okay.
That is so weird. I wonder if it's like 100% on our end, or because this has been the worst that it's been. I wonder if it's 100% on our end, or like if it's like the networking, like of Facebook.
I literally haven't changed anything.
I know. What about the like those bars? Because we were editing that one time and it changed.
What bars?
The volume bars right there, like the thirds, the Rode Mini. That doesn't have anything to do with it. And Chris says it's clear and crisp. All right, so hey, folks, if you're having an echo, do me a favor. refresh Facebook. Refresh your tab and see what
And
happens.
Chris says it's clear and correct.
Because we have not touched anything here. Not really sure
Do me a favor.
if it's lag on our end or your end. But if you're having echo and refreshing, it's good. Let us know. Let us know if that solves it.
Not really sure.
Because we're kind of at a
Wonder
loss
if
here.
Unplugging that would have done
But
something.
if you
May have
are
helped.
having echo and
Probably
refreshing, it's good. Let us know.
So to get back to fishing, talking about the spawn, talking about fish in this area, and I really think these fish are like the first wave of spawners is happening. I think that, like Greg was saying,
Talking about the spawn, talking about fish in this area, and I really
that's a very calculated delay.
like the first wave of spawners is happening. I think
He's asking if we have the podcast playing in the background.
No.
What about the system? Should we turn that all the way down?
very calculated delay. He's asking if we have the
Does,
podcast
Can
that
you
make
guys
it better?
Can you guys still hear us?
system. Should we turn that all the way down?
I feel like that made the echo come back.
Maybe. Let's see what the comments say. Let us know if you can still hear us, because we finally deleted something.
That made the echo come back.
Still got it. Still got the echo, or still got the volume.
Let's see what the comments say. Let us know if you can still hear us, because we finally deleted something. Still got it. Still got the echo, or still got the volume. Still delay. It's so strange.
About to cut the show.
It's so strange. I don't get it.
Hello?
All
How's
right.
that sound?
Restarting the audio stuff again. I don't know why this is being so difficult tonight. You guys should be able to hear us now.
Hello? How's that sound?
Restarting the audio stuff again.
So the next thing we should try. Okay, here we go. Next thing to try, since it's only two of us.
Is it an echo? Is it clear? Is it good?
If it goes again, cut my mic. So we'll just have one and see what happens. All right, so I think we got it back. Hopefully it doesn't still echo. This is so strange. So weird. Hey, I think we're gonna restart the stream real quick. Dude, that
I
doesn't.
don't fucking understand this at all, man.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded. I don't get it. Like, it's been fine. I mean, usually we only have to fuck with it once. Are we back? I think we're back. I'm going to see if this one works now.
If it doesn't, I'm turning it off.
Okay. Sorry, folks. Audio sucks. Computers suck. But we're back. Hopefully, it sounds better. If not, we're going to probably end it a little bit early just see if we can figure out what's going on. But hopefully, this is working good. If you guys are coming from the old stream, come back if you can. And we can see what is going on here. But we're looking at our stuff here. It looks good sound-wise. But again, I don't really know what I'm looking at. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out what's up with that. Because that's pretty annoying. It sucks because we were in good conversation too.
Yeah, it completely.
You know what?
Great
Can we?
conversation they were having. How does it sound? Whoever's watching us right now, does we still have a bad echo?
Can we post the link to our old video so we can pull the other folks back in? I don't know if we can do that.
They'll be able to see it. Do we still have an echo? Sounds good.
Man, that's so weird.
So weird.
That's so weird. Sorry, folks. This is always
Yeah,
a problem.
sorry.
I don't know why this happens.
We're going to be looking into this after the show because we can't keep having this.
Mm-hmm. So we kind of were in the mix of 2 or 3 different conversations. We were talking about the bullet. We're talking about fishing, the spawn in this area. So I want to talk to Jim for a second. So, talking about headwaters, when I went in March of 2022, it was the fish were completely post-spawn. There were no more spawners. I did what I see on TV, which is go and put a 2-ounce weight on and try to flip hyacinth and try to flip those super all thick reeds. Excuse me, and it was not happening. When is the main spawn for you guys down there, Jim? Is it like that end of January, end of December, maybe February? And what's the best way to catch them down there when they're in that thick spawn mode? Because I really wanted to go down there and punch reed mats and do all that stuff that you see on TV, but I didn't get a chance to do it, which kind of sucks. But it was still really, really cool. And my second part of the question, Jim, I'm assuming you fished it before. What's your opinion of Lake Garcia? Because that was a really cool place. I liked it, but we didn't do very good there. Just curious to what your thoughts are on that. So we'll stand by for your comments on that there, but definitely want to know what you think of Lake Garcia. I would really like to go back and fish Lake Garcia because I thought it was a super, super cool place. It was a smaller lake. It was easily, what's it called? Easily, you could break it down, but I actually didn't catch a fish on Lake Garcia. He said it's okay, not a lot of big fish. Interesting. Okay, last question for you, Jim. So we stayed at the cabins on Blue Cypress. What's your opinion on Blue Cypress? It's funny, we stayed at the cabin on Blue Cypress and never fished Blue Cypress. We would head out of Blue Cypress and fish headwaters. Jim says there's local tournaments every weekend, so that's probably why it gets beat up. Because people forget that you can't fish tournaments on headwaters or nothing like that. So that has a lot to do with it as well. Interesting. But yeah, we stayed on Blue Cypress. Great experience down there. Damn, Jim says beautiful lake, no fish. I wonder why. Like, I wonder, like, every lake in Florida just looks like amazing. Like, that's the thing. Every lake in Florida looks like
makes fishing in Florida so hard.
Yeah, true. It really is true. Like, the first time we pulled up to headwaters, I was like, I don't even know where to start. Like, it's overwhelming how much stuff there is there. Which is awesome. Very, very cool. What was the other lake? So we fished headwaters, we fished Garcia, we didn't fish Blue Cypress. Oh, the other one down there that I really wanted to fish that I've heard is really good is so Jim says headwaters is too much pressure. Fish are down because of all the pressure, which I completely understand. Stick Marsh, I wanted to fish Stick Marsh. We never got to it. What's the one? It's like Triple Forks or Three Forks Reservoir. That's the one I wanted to fish.
We fished Kenansville Lake.
I did fish Kenansville. Kenansville was really, really cool. I forgot about Kenansville. I did fish Kenansville. I really...
Kenansville. I said Kenansville.
Yeah. I really wanted to fish Three Forks or Triple Forks, whatever it's called. But we were going to go, and the guys, we met some guys at the bar or whatever, and they were like, dude, you better know what you're doing. I'm like, you'll hit shit. You'll run your boat dry. You'll have all these problems. All right, so there you go. Three Forks is around the corner from the house. Three Forks is like a swamp. Like, you look at it on the map, and you don't even see water. Like, it's pretty crazy. Can you pull it up? Can we do that? Can we pull it up on the map? I just want to show the folks that what we're talking about because... the reason why I heard of it is I'm an ardent reels guy, and JT Kenny films apparently all of his videos at Three Forks Reservoir.
Three Forks Lake?
Three Forks Lake, Florida. Yeah, Three Forks Marsh. It's not even a lake. It's a damn marsh. Yeah. You don't see a whole lot of water there. That's what I'm... Like, look at that, dude.
Wait, what is this?
That's the lake. Yeah, that's the lake.
This is the lake?
Yes. Can you guys see our screen? Lake. Can you guys see our screen?
Hold on a second. Nope, that ain't it.
Hold on. We're pulling it up other than the paradigm of death here. Give us 1 second. Okay, now you can see it. So you can see Three Forks Marsh. Dude, this is insane. There's fish here? Like, okay, so you got your channel. running down the lake. But like, here's the thing. Like, if you scroll down a little bit, all that shit, like where there's like this, where your cursor is, dude, there's water under that. Like, how do you
water underneath all
like
that?
how do you fish
well,
that?
it obviously looks like a man flooded.
What if you go down a little bit more? Like, if you keep scrolling down, it looks like it opens up a little bit down there.
So like, hold up. So like, you're just supposed to run this channel full speed, like all the way down here to where you want to go. Like,
I don't know. I've heard that like you will screw your shit up, like for sure.
He says it's all lilies.
Dude, that's crazy.
So will you though? Like, is it death to run this channel, Jim? You know what I mean? Like how? No, it's danger.
Jesus. So if you scroll down further where it opens up a little bit, like, can you get all the way down? Like, that looks fishable to me. Like, I could fish that.
But like, what is this? Like, you have to like run through this to get to here.
Yeah.
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, that's where the fish are. So like, it's, you know what I mean?
Dude, I wanted to fish this place so bad, but I was so afraid I was going to just destroy my boat.
Look, then you can go over here to whatever this is.
Pull up Lake Garcia, because we were just talking about it. Terry Scroggins lost his motor last year on that lake, completely ripped it off. Yeah, I believe it. Look at that. I mean, there's like, you can't even see the water. Like, no wonder. Yep. So we fished here, dude. This is a cool place. So that like oval thing or whatever, that's an old horse racetrack. Like, because they just flooded it. Yeah, it's an old horse racetrack.
That's an old horse racetrack.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I know, right?
It's amazing how they just like, how do you just have something like all this land and then flood it like that?
Dude, Florida's awesome. Florida is freaking awesome. Like, and because the state pays for all this stuff. So like, they literally just make lakes and just they're just full of 10-pounders. Like, it's insane. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild.
How deep do these like little lakes get though?
I think in Garcia we saw like 12 to 14 feet out in the middle.
It's kind of deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but
Not
the other thing is it gets topped out with grass too. So like, if you scroll more to the left, you can see Blue Cypress Lake. Like in the top left corner of the screen, that's where we actually stayed. Yep, right there. Middleton's Fish Camp. That's exactly, yep. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's alligators everywhere. If you break down, you're probably screwed. But yeah, we stayed there. It was awesome. Really, really recommend it.
Awesome.
And that's Headwaters right there on the right of your screen, actually.
Oh, are we going back?
Yeah, why not? That's Headwaters Lake right there.
This is Headwaters?
That is Headwaters.
You got to navigate all this?
You can if you scroll.
We got freaking sand dunes in the middle or some shit.
Mm-hmm. And if you exit out of it, if you go
a perfect square.
I fished in there. That's like the alligator central of the lake.
I feel like, I don't know, man. Like,
yep, there you go. That's the top of Headwaters. Like where the boat ramp is in that top right corner, and then to the left where your cursor is, that's Stick Marsh Lake.
I know Florida's like one of the bass fishing capitals of the world, or like the world, or the United States of America, but all this like so man-made stuff just looks weird.
Yeah, dude, it is. It's definitely different. Like, there's nothing like it here.
Look at this. You don't see nothing like that anywhere. How's there just channels going through there?
Well, so Headwaters was a man-made lake. They dug the channels out before it was flooded. Like, they put rock piles and they put structure and planted, vegetation
in the channels.
They dug the channels out before it was made. Yes.
That's wild.
It was like a $50 million project, and it's already paid for. It paid for itself like in the first year. For years, it wasn't even open to the public. For years, it was kayak only, and then they just started opening it.
Average is 4 feet.
Yeah. So the cool thing is because this part of Florida is very, very heavy agriculture, so these lakes are used for irrigation. So it's kind of a win-win. You get the, John's correct. You can see the tracks from the skid loaders on side scan when you're down there. It's pretty neat. But these lakes, they
like at the bottom.
Yeah, like where there's like stone on the banks, like you can see it. But yeah, it's a pretty neat place, man. It's really, really cool. It's definitely like if you're a bass fisherman, you got to experience it at least once in your life. Like you really, really have to. But you can absolutely get lost on this place. Like I'm so serious about that. Like you can get lost at Headwaters, like for real. You can absolutely get lost. Like if you don't have a chart plotter that charts your track, and you don't know what you're doing here, you will get lost. There's no question. And the service down here, if you have Verizon, sucks. So you can't Google Maps your way out of it. Like it's a giant maze, dude. It's incredible. I call it a 777, I think here. Yep. Jim says they carve their names in the ground. It's pretty awesome. This is really a bass fishing playground, is what it is.
That's cool. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight, Tony?
Not particularly. I'm hoping to go and blast them tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Saturday tournament. And I haven't been going back to that particular spot to stick your fish, but that's where I've been wanting to go. So
well, I appreciate that.
I'm grateful to get this tournament over with so I can go back there and stick the fish that I've been looking to stick.
Mm-hmm. I might, I'll tell you what, if I catch them there tomorrow, I'm going to take them back. Seriously. Because I don't like pulling fish off of beds, and I'm pretty confident that they're on beds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, seriously, like if I catch them, I will take them back there.
So, we are going to look into what's going on with this audio. As soon as we log out of here, I'm going to update all software and make sure that we're up to date. And we will see you guys for a Tackle Talk Tuesday or a Tackle Talk Wednesday sometime next week. And we will keep you updated throughout the week on what is going on. Definitely make sure that if you guys are catching any fish, you post them on any post that we post on Facebook. I don't care what it's about. Post a picture of your catch. Let's go. Come on.
And thanks for joining us, and thanks for sticking with us with this technical nonsense. We really, really appreciate it.
Yep.
You guys are awesome. That's why we do the show, for the folks at home that like to comment and interact. So we do it for y'all, you know. So we appreciate you guys being patient and sticking with us, and we're going to do better with this audio crap and keep rocking and rolling with it. So
see you guys later. Peace.